Hey guys, the Be Different podcast is back, and this time we're at Xavier University, and we're going to talk about one of the newest, most innovative places to watch a game, not just in Cincinnati, but in all of college basketball. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it, and be sure to hit that subscribe button. Follow the Be Different podcast on YouTube. Hey guys, the Be Different podcast is here, and yes, we are at the Cintas Center. That is why we have a different backdrop behind us. You're probably seeing some banners, some jerseys, some famous big-time Xavier players from back in the day are here, and Brad Redford is here. I'm the one currently talking. To my right, we have Nick Given, and then to my left, we have Greg Wichard. Fellas, how does it feel to be, well, we are on the fourth floor of Cintas in what is called the Tech Deck, and we are going to go into great detail exactly what the Tech Deck is and why everybody needs to understand what this is. But before we get there, fellas, how are we doing this morning?
Doing great.
I'm good. I have coffee. I'm good.
You did bring me coffee as well, Nick, so I feel very good about that. You also brought me a blueberry muffin,
which is a big deal for us here.
And if you've been following this podcast, especially over the last 4 to 6 weeks, a blueberry muffin has been a topic because in the mornings, we get here very early. I think right now we're starting it's about 6:15 in the morning on Thursday.
So how about this Tech Deck?
Well, I know. We're going to go to the Tech Deck, but I'm going to move on from the we're going to go from blueberry muffins to the Tech Deck here in a second. There's a lot of blue lights going on in here right now, so it reminds me of a blueberry. But long story short, most of you probably already know, I brought in blueberry muffins as well as some juice into the podcast. Greg asked me to toast the blueberry muffin, butter the blueberry muffin, give it to him, and then, at that point I was hoping he would eat it.
That's not true, bro.
He did not. He passed on it, so we'll move on. But guys, first of all, we are at the Tech Deck. I'm sure that every Xavier fan at least should be aware of this space right now, but to the knowledge of everyone, this is the first in-arena live virtual reality experience of its kind. The current space used to be a conference center. I mean, you look at old pictures of what this space used to be, completely different from what you're seeing right now. It was recently awarded the 2018 Best Game Day Technology Experience Award by the National Association of Collegiate Directors and the CWG. So a big-time award. And the Tech Deck beat out Purdue University as well as UNLV. Their deals were kind of more of like 3D video projections. UNLV did one before games as kind of pregame festivities for the players and obviously the spectators out in the crowd. Purdue did a 3D game experience as well that was on the court. They provided a projection that kind of told the story of Purdue as well as Mackey Arena. But the Tech Deck and Xavier University, they beat out everybody. And Nick and Greg, what are your thoughts on this place? I mean, you walk in here, it's almost like no place I've been before.
I don't even want to watch a game anywhere else.
I mean, I would not want to watch a game anywhere now that I've been in here, Greg.
I feel like I want this to be my living room.
If this is my living room, I know I've made it. Like that TV, the 30 TVs or however many they got to make one TV is awesome.
I mean, the TV is massive. It's cinema quality. It's in HD, and Jack Black is on the screen right now. And I'm just, I'm getting a huge Jack Black face right now. Huge Jack Black face.
Why do you think they're interviewing Jack Black?
I'm not sure.
Anyway.
I'm not sure. Well, we got SVP on, a little bit of ESPN, and we are in the Tech Deck.
Do you think you'd watch the game from the railing, or do you think you'd just watch on the screen?
So if I was here, I feel like I would watch the game on the couches. I would have a beer in hand, and I would be watching the screen. And then you'd obviously have that background noise of everybody else in the crowd. I mean, that's what I would be doing.
And what exactly do those things do?
So we're going to talk about that in a second because that's part of the three main features, Nick.
Oh, okay.
And we have to document those, as best as we can. So that's what we're going to do here in the next 10 minutes. We are going to document everything here that happens in the Tech Deck. We're going to make it happen. The concept of this room, Nick, it was supposed to be a closing room. So what they mean by a closing room is they wanted something for Coach Steele when the guys bring in a recruit, kind of like the last couple minutes, the last pitch to the player and his family. They wanted to have a really cool, unique space to talk to these players. And that's kind of how it started, and then I think it formed into more of a game day group hospitality area for last season. So if you have a group of up to 40 people, you can actually rent out this space. You can rent the whole thing out, and depending on the quality of the game, you spend more money. So it ranged anywhere last year from $1,500 to $3,500. So, Nick, given you say, hey, I want to rent out the Tech Deck, You call up Brian Hicks, the assistant AD, or Eric Thompson, whoever, to get this thing locked down, and you can have 40 people in here for that price. Now, Nick, just so you know.
Let me get my calculator out.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily include the food or the bar as well, to my understanding.
That's just for the space.
It's like $35 a piece. That's not too bad.
It's really not that bad. And you can also put together a private bar, and you can also have a private buffet. So you can have the bar, the buffet. You can watch the game on the TV. You can have the bird's eye view right here, which is directly behind us, and then you have the 3 virtual reality spaces as well. So really unique.
So when I get the room,
really cool space.
When I get the room, do I get a ticket?
Yeah, I believe you get a ticket, to my understanding. And I don't want to be the last person to give you an answer because I didn't develop the space and I don't sell the space, but I believe you get a ticket.
Okay.
But I believe the ticket is in here. I don't think you can go like anywhere else in the facility.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to go anywhere
here.
else. Especially if we can make our own customizable bar.
Oh,
Stoked.
Man, it would be fantastic.
I would show up an hour before game time.
It would be fantastic. So let's talk about the 3 virtual reality stations first. Can we go there? And that's what I believe they like to call the immersive experience. What are your thoughts on the immersive experience?
If you describe it to me, I'd have
Well, let me describe it to you.
more thoughts.
This gives fans a chance to watch the game in a 360-degree immersive environment. Does that make sense to you at all?
No.
They have a camera. It's called the ORA 41, and you guys know how technology challenged I am, so I'm not exactly sure what that means, but essentially it's a live streaming virtual camera that shoots in 4K. It blends 4 cameras and can be moved anywhere. So they generally have it somewhere on the court. Usually it's at midcourt, but that camera is taken 4, and then they live stream it into a headset that you can watch here from the tech deck. So you can put on a full headset. Wherever you look, left, right, forward, or back, you can see everything in that area where that camera is.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So, I mean, that is an experience. Like, I mean, you're right in the game action. Tyreek Jones goes up for a dunk. Quentin Gooden goes off the pick and roll. I mean, you have those virtual headsets on here in the tech deck. I mean, it feels like you're on the court.
I mean, I think I'd do probably first 10 minutes of the game and, sitting here watching this big, beautiful screen. Second 10 minutes, 360 immersed. Second half, watching it out here.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting immersed with everything. I mean, Travis Steele calls a play. I mean, you feel like you're in the huddle. I mean, that's how you're going to feel when you put this deal on. The Oculus Rift is what they're calling it, the virtual headset, Nick.
It's called the what?
It's called the Oculus Rift.
Sounds like a transformer.
I believe it's spelled OCCULUS, and if I'm wrong, Brian Hicks, please let me know. But you put on this headset, you're right there. You are in live action.
Can you actually talk to Travis Steele during the game?
So I don't believe that has been developed. So I don't know if that virtual reality is like that virtual, but you're there.
Is that just a higher price point on your package?
Yeah, that we would probably have to discuss and develop. But you guys are very creative minds. I'm sure that you could come up with something. But essentially, you're on the court, but nobody can see you, right? You're basically you're not there. You're imaginary.
Given, do you think since you are the transformer connoisseur, do you think an Oculus Rift would be a Decepticon?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely. It's kind of badass in here. That makes sense.
Okay. All right.
It's all really blue, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm in some sort of strange club, but I don't have a drink. It's weird.
Well, you don't have one right now.
Well,
Well, you have a coffee.
Yeah, well.
But that's one of the very unique features. I've put on the headsets before, and it really is fantastic. You get an amazing experience. And so everybody may be looking at this space. There's 3 areas, and you can obviously take the headset off. Somebody else can come in and use it. But very cool. First one of its kind that we are aware of when it comes to basketball. The second thing that you'll notice in here is the large screen television. I mean, it is gigantic.
That was the first thing I noticed, actually.
And I see, like, I noticed the virtual reality first stations just because I'm aware of those, but I could see how your eyes could directly shift over to this TV screen.
To the 16-foot screen.
Well, to be fair, when we walked in, it was all black. I mean, now, yeah, you walk in, I mean, you can see ESPN on the screen here,
right.
But when we initially walked in, Greg, it was all black on the screen.
That's true.
I mean, when it was black, I didn't see a thing. All I saw was the Oculus Rift.
This is technically my second time in here, so we got lost one time. And
I know we got lost, and we thought this is where our tickets were at, and then I walked in, I was stoked, and then immediately they were like, "No, you're down." It was sad.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any ideas or thoughts on how big you think this screen is altogether?
Altogether.
How big is this whole deal right here?
I'd say it's 200 by
200 what?
200 inches.
I would say 100.
Can we do feet?
146 cubic feet.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
You don't have the answer?
Well, I have the how wide it is and how tall it is.
Oh, then say it.
16 feet wide.
Yeah.
And 9 feet high.
Yeah. That's what
But I don't know. I guess I could probably do the math quickly on how that goes in inches.
Well, I was talking feet. I want cubic feet.
106.
All right. Keep it moving, Brad. No one.
So 118 inches? 9 feet, 118 inches? Is that right?
I don't know.
Wow, let's keep going.
Can you do the math really quick? Do 12 times 9. Do 12 times 9.
108.
What did I say?
118.
Yeah.
So I was right there.
You're close.
Yeah, I was right there.
Why is it? Oh, well, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, see, I feel like
I
that.
don't think
I feel like that was pretty good. But this television is massive. It is beautiful, and if you don't have the virtual reality headsets in, then you can immerse yourself in one of the more gigantic TVs that I've ever seen in my life. That I've ever seen. I mean, it's fantastic. I love it. It's actually made of 16 55-inch LED displays. So it can either be one full screen, which is what we have now, or you can separate into 5 different screens. So you can actually, like, if you come here on a Saturday, you can have the Xavier game on and a bigger screen, and then you're going to have 4 other ones smaller, but you can separate it into 5 different games.
Can we talk to Xavier about possibly running this out for the first weekend of March Madness next year? That would just be...
How much?
Okay, so that's something I don't know if that is something that you're allowed to do right now, but I could see this space being, rented out on even game days where Xavier's not playing here.
Exactly. We need to talk about this.
Yeah, because I would come here for sure to watch a game. I think they would be flexible on that 1,500 to 3,500. So, but we'll discuss.
We'll just
that.
fill up enough people.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, last year, very successful. So they rented out 17 out of the 19 games, which was a big part of why they recently won this award. Okay, so we talked about the virtual headset. That was the first part of this deal. That's what I'm most excited about. I feel like you guys are a little bit more excited about the TV screen because you're having a hard time, really looking anywhere else. You guys are really fixated on the TV. But we got to move on.
Big TV.
I know we got to move on. But we did this earlier. But there's a glass garage door that we opened up, and you have this amazing view from the balcony, unobstructed view. You can see all the spectators. You can see all the banners. You can see the game in real live time right here. And you have the big Jumbotron right here as well. So you kind of have...
You're above the Jumbotron.
You really do have a full view of anything that you want from here, right? Because you got essentially courtside seating with the virtual headset. You have this massive screen here. And if you want to actually watch the game, live here from the balcony, you can do that as well. So I don't know what else that you would want, but this view is fantastic from up here. It's directly above the coach's suite on the 4th floor of Cintas right here.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, it's incredible space.
It sounds like we should be talking to them about booking one of these rooms.
Oh, man, private buffet, bartender, TV, virtual reality, balcony. I mean, it sounds like a place I would spend a lot of time in.
I agree.
Don't you think? Last year alone in revenue produced $40,000 in total revenue. $16,000 was from catering and $22,000 was from the actual rental. And I would say in first year, basically this was just a conference room, and then what they've done, rented out 17 out of 19 games, generate $40,000 in just its first year. I would say that's pretty successful.
I would say that is very successful.
Yeah, so
it'll pay for itself by next year, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I don't care about any of that. I just want to use it.
Yeah, we just want to use it. So anybody interested in the space, feel free to reach out, get creative. But it is awesome. And if you do get a chance to take a look around the Cintas Center, be sure to take a look at the tech deck.
But if you are going to rent this space and you find out about this from this podcast, we would love an invite.
Yeah, if you find out about the tech deck from either myself, Nick, or Greg, or the podcast in general, please make us aware of that, and we would be happy
to help you
come
get
and
your
just
spending.
Well, just support them and what they're doing here.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
and your day.
Yeah. Well, guys, in other news, there's huge news in the world of college athletics yesterday. Yeah, I mean, big news. We discussed it briefly. We're not going to go crazy in depth into everything. We're going to focus on that more of next week. So we're going to get a couple of experts in to kind of talk about what this actually means for college basketball. Significant makeover when it comes to the rule book. And we kind of all knew that this was coming. There's a lot of issues going on with college athletics. There's a lot of people on the outside that are trying to fix it, trying to make it better for the players. This seems to be at least a push to try and move it to the right direction. There's some people that have come on, some specialists that said they don't like it. Some said they like pieces of it. I'm not exactly sure where I stand right now, but we're going to have Greg read just a couple of the rule changes, talk about it briefly, move on, and then over the next week, we're going to kind of do our due diligence, and Nick Given is really going to educate us over the next week on what these rules actually mean and the long-term effect of what this actually could be for the players in college basketball, coaches, really just everybody in the business. So, Greg, why don't you go ahead and just let's start diving down the list. There's about 5 rules that I think we're going to kind of focus on, and these I don't believe have gone through yet. These are just proposed rules for college basketball at this point, for college athletics. Or these, I don't believe these have
I think they have changed.
I'm pretty sure they're out there.
Okay. It's pretty official, I believe.
Okay, all right.
All players who get invited to the NBA Combine but go undrafted will have the option to return to their former school. Elite prospects will now be allowed to have official relationships with agents. This applies to high schoolers and college athletes alike. USA Basketball, in conjunction with the NCAA, will be tasked with identifying which prospects in a given class are elite. In regard to high school athletes, however, the rule will not go into effect until the NBA changes its current age limit rule. So that's an answer.
So that's a big one. And they're saying elite prospects, which seems a little bit vague right now. Do we have any idea of what that actually means?
The elite prospects will be picked by USA Basketball.
Okay.
So if you are an elite prospect, you will be able to hire an agent if you decide to go back to school. As soon as you re-enroll, the contract with that agent is up. But during that time period, the agent is allowed to pay for expenses, which was kind of interesting to me, just because if an agent signs someone and goes through this process, pays for their travel, their stay, all that stuff, they decide to re-enroll, that contract is void, and then they play their year, and then they can pick a whole different agent essentially.
Okay.
If I'm elite, I'm just straight hustling people for their money then. I mean, I want my family here. I want these flights. I want these shoes. I want to eat this, blah, blah, blah. Going back to school. Thanks for your 10K, 30K.
Well, yeah, but I guess I can kind of see if the NBA changes the rule and then allows players from high school to go directly to the pros, it does kind of make sense that if you have a kid who's 16 who's likely going to be a lottery pick and is projected as so, he probably should be able to hire an agent.
I agree with
at 16. So I need to do a little bit more digging and research, because I think it's I don't really understand exactly what elite prospects mean. I know that USA Basketball will be the ones deciding that, but will that number be 20 or 30 or 40? Are we aware of that yet?
They'd been talking about a top 100 camp each June. Possibly there's 100. I think one of the biggest change that's been implemented is school presidents and chancellors will now be personally held accountable by the NCAA for their athletic department abiding by the rules. So I think that could, really make a push for, presidents of universities to, if you're not following the rules, you're gonna go too.
Interesting.
I actually like that a lot.
That's a big deal.
Well, it's just like if you're if your company does something bad, the CEO's still, their head's still on the chopping block. It should be the same here.
Right.
Yeah. Because right now there's like that gray area of who is in charge and then who will be accountable if something happens, right? And a lot of it is we've seen coaches get in trouble, and then is it just the coaching?
Well, yeah, but the
one
administration comes out and says, like, I'm
Right.
sorry, we had no idea. Well, it's under your nose, bro.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Because essentially they are the leader of the company. These universities are large companies, right? So that president should have an understanding of what's going on in every branch.
That every single president across the country was like, you've got to be joking.
Well, it just adds a lot more to their plate.
Well,
Except for Xavier. They
of
were
course.
fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
Travis Steele would never do anything wrong.
No. Chris Mack, though, he's probably down there in Louisville. He's taking basketball.
I don't know where you guys are going. I don't know how this conversation got there. But
what do you mean?
No, go ahead.
Well, I just want to know, do you feel left out because you could have got paid leading up and now, you're a few years too late?
Yeah, I am disappointed. I am very disappointed. I would have had agents crawling, begging
to give you money?
To give me money.
And flights and
the whole
shoes.
deal. Coming to Frankenmuth, buying me chicken dinners, buying me Bronner's Christmas ornaments. I mean, it would have been the whole
full-blown
deal.
tree. You could have got the biggest tree in there.
Yeah, I know. If I could only go back. Maybe one day we will be able to go back. The way that technology is heading, maybe one day I'll be able to be 16 again. Maybe that will happen.
Maybe. Is that what age you'd go back to if you go back once?
I would probably go back. No, because I would say I'd go back to like 19, like freshman year of college. Because I feel like freshman year of college is that's when you're excited. The world's in front of you. It's just the world becomes big.
I'd go back to like 12.
Really? So
Absolutely.
There's no expectations.
You get summers again. You get 3 months off from the real world. You don't have a job yet. Biggest deal for me would be cutting the grass. Not much was expected of me.
But you couldn't drive anywhere.
There's nowhere to go.
I mean, say you're going back to the borough.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, I could go anywhere in the world.
I
sure as hell wouldn't go back to the borough if I go anywhere. I thought like we were going back.
Should we mention some trick shots that might be popping up on the channel soon?
Yeah, we are going to be working on some trick shots. Slightly disappointed because being at the Cintas Center, we wanted to have some trick shots on the main court. That is not going to happen right now because they just did a paint job on there and there are no baskets up. So the Be Different podcast will have to be a little bit creative when it comes to doing these trick shots after the interview. But,
Also, trick shots could turn into Greg and I beating Brad and Pig.
Yeah, it could turn into some real game of some sort if that's what you would like to
Whatever
call it.
I want, I just want you to lose.
The thing is, it's shooting to me, guys, it's an art form. It's something that obviously for years I've taken very, very seriously. I believe in it. I believe in the dedication that it takes to, become an athlete and just an overall assassin. And to me, that's being able to shoot a basketball properly. The best shooter in the world right now is Steph Curry. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Steph Curry is the best shooter in the world.
You don't think it's Kevin Durant?
He's the best shooter of all time. No, I don't. Steph Curry is shattering record books, shooting insane percentages. Steph Curry is the best shooter of all time, guys. And
how do you feel about his ankles, though? You think that he has the best ankles in the world or no?
I don't think he has the best ankles in the world. But I think he...
Who has the best ankles in the world, Brad? Who has the best ankles in the world?
And Nick Gibbons got some strong ankles.
I got a decent set of ankles.
He's got a good set of ankles. He shows them off. He wears a lot of Converse, so those are very low shoes. They allow the ankle to protrude.
So you look at Gibbons' ankles a lot.
Well, no, I don't.
It.
Well,
I get it.
I would say the key to anybody, not just man, or we don't have any women on the show, but the key to anybody is their foundation, and that's no different than shooting a basketball. You got to have a great foundation in what you do, and that starts with your feet. That starts with your body positioning, and then when you move up to the upper body, we're talking about one motion. One fluent motion that allows you to shoot from a very, very far distance, which I am able to do with amazing consistency. So I am really looking forward to kind of showing that, and maybe we'll even do a couple drills, for other people to take a look at and see if they could actually beat me in any drill when it comes to shooting the basketball, because I don't think it's going to happen.
No one's doing drills.
We might do some drills.
I would do a shooting drill, but that's about it.
Yeah, we might do some drills.
Well, I think we got about couple minutes left here.
Yeah, I think we
covered it all?
I think we covered it all.
Okay.
I mean, we covered the tech deck. I mean, last thoughts maybe on the tech deck from you guys. If Nick, if you had, give me a few seconds, just a few words about what the tech deck is meaning to you right now. You're in this space right now. I want you to really sit in it. I want you to immerse yourself, not in the virtual reality, but just immerse yourself in this moment maybe.
To me, the tech deck means I don't make enough money because I can't afford to watch every Xavier game from here.
Mm-hmm.
And then in B, if we don't figure out a way to get up here for one game, I'll be thoroughly disappointed. I'll probably retire from the podcast.
Okay. That was strong.
If anyone ever gets a chance to be in here around 6 in the morning, it has fantastic soft lights that aren't hard on the eyes. That's one of my favorite things about walking in here this morning. The other was for those 2 seconds that I got to, fraudulently walk in here and see part of the pregame. It was one of the best views I've had in the Cintas Center.
Well, I think you guys really sum that up, and that should give all of our listeners a good understanding of what they're missing out if they haven't been here. But this tech deck is beautiful. It's extravagant. It has some amazing technology, and from the virtual reality to the TV to the bird's eye view that I got right here over the balcony. I mean, this is top notch, and I love how Xavier and the Cintas Center continues to innovate and improve their already big time experience here at the Cintas Center. And with that, I think we are going to sign off for Nick Given, Greg Witcher, and Brad Redford. That's it for the Be Different podcast. See you guys.